the FSAI program, mainly on the dedicated vehicle, but also keeping an eye on those teams who are entering their own vehicles. This year being a virtual competition, I think there's less less involvement for myself, but if we have got any questions relating to vehicles, then if we've got time for them, I'm happy to answer those. But I think really the focus on this call is more on the virtual competition.
Perfect. And we've got Alistair as well. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm Alistair Stevenson. I've probably met a few of you before. Principally started off as an EV scrutineer, but for the last couple of years been helping get FSAI off the ground. I'll be the one telling you what to do when you're actually driving the cars around in circles at the competition.
Brilliant. All right. So welcome. You've completed step 1 now that you've submitted all your presentations and all your content. You've now accessed this call, so that was a step 1. So congratulations everybody on that. You know, really this year that we're very aware that FSAI 2020 it will be a very unique competition this year, and we all think you should all be really proud of how you've really shown your commitment to your teams and the commitment to the competition by entering. So yeah, I would be really proud of yourselves for that. This is the first year that the IMechE are running a totally virtual Formula Student competition, which is really exciting. It's a new event format for us, and let's see how it goes. We know that we can't give you the full track experience this year, but while we can't give you that, the judges' feedback on the presentations that you've submitted will be really invaluable, as well as the experience, and your development achievements will sure lift the 2021 competition to new heights and will contribute to next year's success as well. So we hope that you're all proud of the work that you've put into this year. So just a quick reminder for you guys for the Q&A sessions and the format that it's going to follow. Each Q&A session is blocked out for a nominal 30 minutes, but this doesn't mean that you speak for 30 minutes necessarily for each one. So the design presentation, the Q&A, sorry, will be 15 minutes of team interaction with the judges. The real world will be 20 minutes. Simulation development, which is new for this year, will be 30 minutes of team Q&A, and the business presentations will be 20 minutes of team Q&A. And so for the agenda for each meeting, just to give you an idea of what we expect from them, we'd love it if the students could log in 5 minutes prior to the start time. And I think, Lucy, do they wait in a lobby for each Q&A session?
Well, that's an interesting question, Holly. Yes, the idea is that students would be held in a lobby, just to give the judges the opportunity to get in and get sorted before they let you in. But unfortunately, there is a bug in Teams, and it doesn't affect every user, but it does affect the odd user, and I am one of the users it affects. And as I've set up all the meetings, it may or may not hold you in a lobby, as we found at the start of this call. So TBC.
Okay, no problem. Well, it would be really good, even if you don't wait in the lobby, it'd be really good if students could log in about 5 minutes prior to the start time, just in case, you know, there's technical issues or anything like that. We recommend it. There's a maximum of 6 team members per session, and plus 1 faculty advisor for everything other than the business presentation, I think. Did you guys keep the faculty advisor in the business presentations, or are they not allowed?
They are welcome to come along if they want. All I would say, though, is can we minimise the number of people in the business presentation just to keep bandwidth free? Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. If there's any problems with internet or anything, they'll be the first to go. But yeah, maximum 6 team members per session, please. So at the beginning of each call, the judges will confirm that they're ready, and then you can go ahead and introduce each member of your team. So maybe say your name and which kind of area you've been working on the car. Judges will then ask you questions referring to your submitted presentations. And then at the end of the call, you'll be asked to leave at the end of the questions, so then the judges can talk amongst themselves. So here we go with some small hints and tips for your Q&A sessions. And again, feel free to add some questions in the conversation area. We encourage a team member at the start of the session to present their screen, very much like I'm doing now, and to have your submitted presentation slides ready. This is both for a memory aid for you as well as the judges. So obviously the judges are looking through your materials before the competition, but it would be really nice to have your slides up and ready as a reminder for everybody. But you're not allowed to give your presentation again, so it's only there as a memory aid for questions. You're also allowed to show brief data, simulations, or other supplementary material during the session, but only if it really adds to answering a judge's question. So I'd be really mindful of the time. So obviously, if a simulation takes 10 minutes to load and run, then it's probably not entirely worth it. But if you think there's some data or other material that you could show that would really add to a judge's question, then go ahead. We'd also recommend that a team member can start a timer when the session starts, and definitely keep an eye on that. The judges will be keeping an eye on time as well, so we'll give you a warning if we when we get to the end of the session. But generally, we definitely allow people to finish their answers before we close the time. The judges' questions will likely follow the submission guidance in the rules, but definitely be prepared to think creatively. We had a fantastic year last year, especially in presentations like the real world AI, where students can think a bit out the box. So definitely be prepared to think a bit out the box with those ones. Before the sessions, we'd recommend you communicate within your team who will be answering which theme of question. So say there's a question on localization, then hopefully within your team, you'll already know who is the best person to answer that question. So that'll be really good, and I think that will help prevent you guys talking over each other during the Q&A sessions. So we will see you on the 23rd and 24th of July. We wish you the best of luck, and we're all really excited to be judging your presentations. I don't know if any of my fellow judges or Lucy, would you like to add anything?
Not really from me. Something that I did find earlier, just doing some test meetings, was that if you don't actually have the Teams app downloaded, there is some issue with getting your camera to display and seeing our cameras as well. So obviously for sharing presentations and slides, that's an issue. So it is a bit of a pain, it's a bit of extra admin, but you've got a week. If you can install the Microsoft Teams app, if you don't already have it, that would be the best experience if you could do that. But that's all really from me. Mark and Rob might have some business plan presentation specific stuff to go over though.
I can do once I've just found my slides and remember where I've put them.
I've got them if you want them, Mark.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind then, yes, please. If you've got them to hand. Okay, so if you scroll on, please, Lucy. Okay, so quick overview. It's just adding on to what Holly said, how the business presentation event will work for AI. It's the same as it works for the Formula Student competition, but just a few notes for you. So as you were told, there's a 20-minute session when you will be engaging with the judges. The first 10 minutes of that, we will re-watch the submitted presentation. So it's just, as Holly said, it's to refresh your memories and to refresh the judges' memories. There then will be 5 minutes of questions and answers, and you will then receive 5 minutes of feedback. So really important there is that teams are not expected to deliver the presentation again. as we said, it is requested that you have a copy of your slide pack to hand in case the judges need to say, can you go to slide 6 or 7 or anything like that, rather than trying to find where we are in a video. And the other bit there, it does say is that judges will record the question and answers and the feedback sessions. And I'll go on to why that's important in a second. Next slide, please, Lucy. For the scoring part. So as per previous years, the BPP is scored in 4 categories: content, visual aids, delivery, and questions and answers. The content, or the marks for content, visual aids and delivery, will have already been scored based on the submitted presentations that you've done. Those are being marked as we speak. So only the question and answer marks will be reviewed and decided as part of the question and answer session. The other part there is no live final taking place this year, and that's why we're recording the video, the sessions. So that's the top scoring teams that would have been the finalists. We can review the presentations and the questions and answers by a single judging panel. So say that top 5, top 3, wherever the split seems to be, will be reviewed singly. Just think in mind, not so applicable to the AI competition. That's more for the formula student and concept class. But next slide then, please, with the people involved. So ideally, we say only the competitors identified at the beginning of the presentations should be answering the questions. They are the presentation team. If you've not indicated that there are other people who are supposed to be answering your questions, we won't take questions from them. It's just the people in the presentation. We also request, as I said, to reduce bandwidth, ideally no spectators. The fact that we will be recording the sessions mean that you can watch that back afterwards. And the judges who are asking the questions will be the same judges who scored your submitted presentations. After the event, the scores are going to be announced Sunday evening. I think the winner will be announced in the MathWorks closing ceremony. Other scores will come out subsequently, and the judges are compiling written feedback forms, and we are recording the live sessions, and we will try to make those available on request if people want them after the competition. Yeah. That's it from me, really. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for that as well. That's great. I've spotted actually somebody's just asked a question, so I'll answer these as we go as well. So somebody's asked, are we allowed to share our screen for Q&A or just the camera? So you definitely are allowed to share your screen. I would probably suggest that in the interest of time that you have one person from each team to share their screen, because then you're not faffing about, swapping screens and everything. So yeah, we would really encourage you to share your presentation slides or any extra material that you've got to answer the specific judges' questions. Otherwise, yes, share your camera. Remember that if you think that your Wi-Fi connection is not going to be good enough, then you can definitely turn your camera off, no problem as well. All right, well, do we have any more questions from any students? Please feel free to write them in the meeting chat. I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing that they don't have many questions.
Actually, if we've got anyone from Brooks on the call, it'd be great to just know that you're here. If you could just type in the comments. But other than that, I think we've got every team from AI, which is amazing.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Thank you, everybody, for your time. That's great. No, maybe not. Okay, well, I think that's it from me at the moment. Lucy, if the teams have got any questions in between now and the competition, who should they get in contact with?
Yeah, they should email fs@imeki.org, which is the email address that you are all probably quite familiar with anyway. But yeah, just send them through. If it's for me, I'll answer. If it's something specific to any of the judges, I'll pass that on. But yeah, just use that email address. That's the quickest way.
Okay, brilliant. We've just had another question as well. So somebody says, regarding the simulation development event, in the required PDF, we were asked to submit code samples, but there was no place for that in the submission link. Where should we submit these samples that we've been asked for? That's a good question, actually. Maybe Lucy, is there somewhere that the IT team could help us with that?
Yeah, that's caught me out, actually. I thought that we had a supporting PDF link for the simulation development, but obviously we overlooked that. So I think as there's a relatively small number of teams for AI, the simplest thing at this stage would be to just email them through, if that's possible, to fs@imeki.org, and I'll then share them with the judging teams.
Yeah, that sounds good. Hopefully, Michael, that answered your question.
Just on that, it might be worth, if you have got GitHub or other kinds of like online repositories of the code that you're sharing, links to those would also potentially work, because then they can be reviewed just as is. It depends on exactly how you want to share and whether it's just a subset or whether it's a larger piece.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you for that as well. Thanks, Chris, for the good luck. Brilliant. Yeah, guys, let us know if you have any more questions. Perfect. Okay, well, I mean, I think that's it from me. As Lucy said, if you have any more questions, just email them across. You guys should all have your Google invite, your invites now for the Microsoft Teams Q&A sessions. So hopefully that should all be in your calendars now as well. So if they're not in your calendars, then please let Lucy know and we can look into that. Oh, well, thank you everybody for your time today. We really look forward to seeing everybody on the 23rd and 24th of July.
Thanks, Phil.
Yep, thanks, bye.
All right.
Thanks, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you then. Bye.